Did you just brush off that new little spot? That tiny bump that appeared on your hand? Or that rough patch on your scalp? Thinking it's just a sign of getting older. Perhaps you looked in the mirror, noticed something a bit different, and then immediately went back to worrying about whether you'd remembered to take your vitamins or if the kettle was on. It's so easy to do, isn't it? To dismiss those little whispers our bodies send us, especially when they come from something as seemingly innocuous as our skin. We've spent a lifetime living in this skin, watching it wrinkle, perhaps freckle, and certainly change with the years. So it's natural to assume any new mark is just another part of the aging process. But what if one of those quiet whispers wasn't just about age? What if it was a crucial, urgent message that could literally save your life? Imagine the heartbreaking reality of someone looking back and wishing they had paid just a little more attention, wishing they had known that seemingly harmless spot was actually a silent alarm bell. It's a painful thought, that something so obvious, so visible on our own bodies, could hold a secret we never learned to read. Our skin, the largest organ we possess, is constantly communicating with us. Yet so often, we miss its most important messages. In this video, we're going to gently pull back the curtain on some of these often overlooked skin signs. We're not here to cause alarm, but to empower you with knowledge about what to truly watch for. We'll look at several subtle changes on your skin that could be whispering about something far more serious than just passing years, a silent sign of cancer. Understanding these simple indicators can make all the difference in the world. So, please, stay with me until the very end, because what you learn here might just surprise you. And it could be the most important discovery you make all year. Now, let's begin to truly listen to what our skin is trying to tell us. One of the very first things we often dismiss, and perhaps the most commonly discussed yet still frequently misunderstood, are our moles. We all have them, don't we? From childhood, they pop up like little brown freckles, some dark, some light, and over the decades, we simply get used to them. They become part of us, almost like old friends. You might have one on your arm that you've known for 60 years, or a scattering across your back that you barely ever think about. The danger, though, isn't necessarily in the mole itself, but in a change that goes unnoticed. It's not just about a mole being ugly or big. It's about a mole that's evolving. Think about it, you've known that mole on your hand your entire life. It's always been perfectly round, flat, and a consistent shade of light brown. But lately, perhaps you've noticed it's not quite as perfectly round as it used to be. Maybe one edge looks a bit blurred, or it has developed a small, almost imperceptible bump in the middle where it used to be smooth. Or perhaps, what's even more alarming, is that its color isn't uniform anymore. It might have a darker speck, or even a hint of red or blue, where it was once just plain brown. These are the whispers of change. A common misconception is that melanoma, the most serious form of skin cancer, always starts as a brand new, dark mole. While it certainly can, it often develops within an existing mole, subtly morphing over weeks or months, becoming asymmetrical, developing an irregular border, showing uneven coloration, growing larger than a pencil eraser, or, crucially, evolving in any way. This evolution could also mean it starts to itch, bleed without cause, or become tender to the touch, which are big red flags. We often assume these changes are just us being clumsy, or maybe catching it on something. Oh, I must have scratched it, we tell ourselves. But if it doesn't heal, or if the mole itself looks altered after a minor injury, that's a sign. The actionable step here is incredibly simple, yet profoundly powerful. Know your moles. Take a moment, perhaps once a month, to simply look at your skin, head to toe. In a mirror, ask a trusted family member or friend to check areas you can't easily see, like your back or scalp. If you notice a mole that is changing in any way, size, shape, color, or texture, or if it starts to itch, bleed, or ooze, don't hesitate. Take a photo of it, mark the date, and then make an appointment with your doctor right away. They can look at it, often with a special magnifying tool called a dermatoscope, and tell you if it's something to worry about or just a normal variation. It's truly that straightforward. And it's a difference maker. Beyond moles, another skin sign that often gets dismissed, perhaps because it seems so minor, is a sore that just doesn't heal. We've all had cuts, scrapes, or maybe a persistent little blemish. You might bump your arm reaching for something in the cupboard, and a small cut appears. It scabs over, and in a week or two, it's gone. Just a faint memory. That's normal. But what if that little cut, or what looked like a tiny scratch, just persists? It might scab over, fall off, and then reappear. Or it might look like a small, reddish bump, almost like a persistent zit, that refuses to go away for weeks, even months. This is particularly concerning when it appears on sun-exposed areas like your face, ears, scalp, neck, or the backs of your hands. I've heard countless stories of people who had what they thought was just a little abrasion on their earlobe from their glasses, or a small mark on their nose that looked like a dry patch. They'd put cream on it, hoping it would disappear, only for it to return, sometimes even weeping or bleeding slightly. These types of non-healing sores or persistent bumps can be a sign of basal cell carcinoma or squamous cell carcinoma, which are the most common forms of skin cancer. While they are generally less aggressive than melanoma and rarely spread to other parts of the body, they can still be destructive if left untreated. They can grow locally, invading and damaging surrounding tissue, which can lead to significant disfigurement if they are on the face, for instance. So, the key takeaway here is persistence. If you have any sore scab or patch of skin that lasts longer than 4 to 6 weeks, or that repeatedly heals and then reopens, it needs professional attention. Don't just cover it up with a bandage or assume it will eventually go away. That lingering presence is its way of asking for help. A simple visit to your GP or a dermatologist can quickly determine if it's something benign or something that needs further investigation. It's a very small effort for a potentially life-saving outcome, ensuring that what might seem like a minor nuisance doesn't become a major problem. Building on the idea of persistent, non-healing areas, let's turn our attention to another frequently overlooked skin sign: the presence of stubborn, scaly patches or rough spots that simply refuse to go away. No matter how much moisturizer you apply, many of us, as we get older, experience dry skin, especially in winter or if we live in drier climates. We might notice rough patches on our elbows, shins, or even on our face, and our first instinct is to reach for a nourishing cream. And often, that does the trick. But what if it doesn't? What if there's a patch, perhaps on your forehead, the bridge of your nose, the top of your head if you have thinning hair, or even the backs of your hands, that feels persistently rough, like sandpaper? It might be reddish or brownish, sometimes even yellowish, and it just won't smooth out or fade. No matter what you do, these can be what are called actinic keratoses, often referred to as AKs. They are very common, especially in people who have had significant sun exposure over their lifetime. Think of them as tiny, rough, crusty growths, and while they might seem harmless, they are actually precancerous. This means they have the potential to develop into squamous cell carcinoma, one of the more common types of skin cancer we discussed earlier. If left untreated, it's like a warning sign. A yellow light flashing on your skin saying, "Pay attention." People often mistake them for age spots or simply dry, old skin, and they can be easy to ignore, especially if they don't itch or hurt. But it's that texture, that rough, sandpaper-like feel, that should be your clue. It's crucial to understand that treating these precancerous spots is much simpler and less invasive than treating a full-blown skin cancer. Your doctor might use a freezing technique, topical creams, or other simple procedures to remove them. So if you notice these rough, scaly patches, particularly on sun-exposed areas that don't respond to regular moisturizing, it's a good idea to bring them to your doctor's attention. It's a proactive step that can prevent something more serious from developing down the line. Now, let's consider another type of silent sign that is frequently missed because it appears in unexpected places: dark streaks under your fingernails or toenails, or even dark patches on the palms of your hands or the soles of your feet. When we think of skin cancer, our minds often jump to sun-exposed areas. But melanoma, the most dangerous form of skin cancer, can develop anywhere on the body, even in areas that rarely see the sun. This includes the nail beds, the spaces between your toes, or even inside your mouth. Imagine looking down at your toenail and noticing a dark, linear streak running from the cuticle all the way to the tip. Your first thought might be that you stubbed your toe and it's just a bruise, or perhaps that it's a fungal infection. We've all had those minor injuries or dealt with nail issues, so it's a very natural assumption. But if that dark streak doesn't grow out with your nail over several months, or if it starts to spread to the skin around the nail, that's a very serious sign. This particular type of melanoma, called subungual melanoma, is often diagnosed late precisely because it's mistaken for something else. Similarly, new or changing dark spots on the palms of your hands or the soles of your feet, especially if you haven't injured the area, warrant immediate attention. These areas aren't typically exposed to the sun, so we tend to ignore dark marks there. But for some individuals, particularly those with darker skin tones, these are actually more common sites for melanoma. The key is any new dark mark, especially one that is irregular in shape or color, or that changes over time. Don't simply assume it's a bruise or a callus. If you notice any unusual dark areas under your nails, on your palms, or on the soles of your feet, and they aren't clearly related to an injury that's healing, or if they grow and change, it's absolutely vital to have them checked by a doctor. This isn't about fear. It's about being informed and taking decisive action for your well-being. Finally, we come to a broader category of skin changes that can also be a silent alarm. Any new lump or bump that feels firm and is noticeably growing. Unlike moles, which are often pigmented, these might appear as skin-colored, reddish, or even translucent nodules. You might discover them almost by accident, perhaps while washing, dressing, or simply scratching an itch. It could be on your arm, your leg, your chest, or even your back. At first, it might seem small and insignificant. Perhaps just a benign cyst or a fatty lump that appears with age. Many times, these lumps are harmless. But the concerning factor, the one that should immediately grab your attention, is growth. If you notice a new lump that progressively gets larger, or one that changes in texture, perhaps becoming firmer, or feeling tender when it wasn't before, that warrants investigation. I recall a story of someone who developed a small, flesh-colored bump on their leg. They thought it was an ingrown hair or a tiny cyst. It didn't hurt, didn't itch, so they ignored it for months. But it slowly, steadily grew, becoming more noticeable. When they finally had it checked, it turned out to be a type of skin cancer that, while treatable, had grown significantly simply because it wasn't addressed sooner. This isn't just about skin cancer on the surface. Sometimes, a lump on the skin can even be a sign of a deeper, internal cancer that has spread to the skin. The crucial message here is, don't dismiss any new, growing lump simply because it isn't painful or discolored. Our bodies are constantly regenerating, and new growths can occur for many reasons. But rapid or persistent growth is always a red flag. If you feel a lump or bump that wasn't there before, and it shows any signs of growth or change, please bring it to your doctor's attention. Early detection, whether it's for a skin level issue or something deeper, truly is the best pathway to a positive outcome. Being attuned to these subtle signals your skin sends can make all the difference in catching something serious at its most treatable stage. We've covered so much important ground today, haven't we? It's truly remarkable how much our skin can tell us if we simply learn to listen. We began by talking about those familiar moles, and how the critical thing to watch for isn't just their presence, but any sign of evolution, changes in their shape, border, color, size, or any new symptoms like itching or bleeding. Remember, your regular self-check, perhaps monthly, is your most powerful tool there. Then, we moved on to those incredibly deceptive non-healing sores, patches, or bumps that simply refuse to disappear after several weeks, reminding us that persistent irritation can be a silent plea for attention, especially for common skin cancers like basal cell or squamous cell carcinoma. We also explored those rough, scaly patches, the actinic keratoses, which feel like sandpaper and are a clear warning sign that early intervention can prevent more serious problems. And let's not forget the unexpected places, those dark streaks under nails or on your palms and soles, which might seem like a bruise or a fungus, but could be a critical, often missed form of melanoma. Finally, we looked at any new lump or bump that feels firm and shows a noticeable growth, emphasizing that even a painless, non-discolored lump that's getting bigger should never be ignored. This journey through various skin signs isn't meant to fill you with worry, but rather to empower you. You see, the surprise I mentioned at the beginning is just how much control you truly have over your health and well-being simply by being observant and proactive. Most changes on your skin will be harmless, a normal part of life's journey. But by knowing these key signs, you transform from merely being an occupant of your skin to being its vigilant guardian. You gain the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're doing everything you can to protect your most visible organ. Small changes can indeed make a profound difference to your health and happiness. And a regular skin self-check is one of the easiest, most impactful steps you can take. I truly hope this information has been helpful and has perhaps sparked a new level of awareness within you. Your experiences and thoughts are incredibly valuable. So please don't hesitate to share them in the comments below. Have you ever noticed one of these signs on yourself or a loved one? What did you do? Your story could provide comfort or crucial insight for someone else. We're all in this together, learning and supporting one another. And if you found this video informative and helpful, please take a moment to give it a like. That simple gesture helps more people discover this important information. And for more practical, empowering advice to help you live your best life at every age, consider subscribing to our channel. It means the world to us to be part of your health journey. Remember, your skin tells a story. Learn to read its language. Live your best life, vibrant and healthy, at every age.